G'day friends, it's Blister Guy. Now you may have seen my recent reveal for the Festival of Legends expansion for Hearthstone where we introduced the Warrior Riffs. So I thought I'd take some time to give you some background on me and the guitar and the reveal itself and the riffs that I wrote. I've been a casual guitar player most of my life, and so is my dad, which is probably where I get it from. I seem to remember him having a photograph of me like squatting on his Fender Stratocaster pulling on the strings as a toddler. So, when I was about 8 years old, and to be fair, I remember a lot of things happening when I was 8 years old, so I might be a bit of an unreliable narrator about when this happened. Also, I asked him about that photo and he says he doesn't remember it, so I don't know. Anyway, my parents decided I should learn an instrument and I was sent to have guitar lessons. Now, I found those guitar lessons dreadfully uninteresting and so I quit. But then a few years after that, who knows when exactly, I did remember hearing AC/DC's Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, and I was like, I think I know those chords, and so I picked up one of my dad's guitars and I just played it by ear. A few more years after that, and I was really into hard rock music like Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue, and I remember seeing an ad for Metallica's Black Album, and this is something I can definitely pinpoint as happening when I was 13 years old because thank you internet. Anyway, I spent most of my teenage years just like learning their back catalogue on guitar, teaching myself how to play guitar that way. In fact, these guitar picks were the guitar picks they used back then. I don't know if they still do. It's a Jim Dunlop Tortex 0.88mm pick. Anyway, then in my late teenage years, me and some mates started a band, and we mostly played Sepultura covers in pubs around town. In fact, this is a picture of me from then. I don't look like that now with my shirt off. In fact, I didn't really even look like that with my shirt off back then. It was just fortunate light and timing, honestly. Anyway, jump forward to the Festival of Legends, and I received the cards I'm going to reveal and the info on the expansion about less than 9 days before it's due to air. And like full credit to the local Blizzard ANZ offices, they got the stuff to me as soon as they could. It's just that my reveal was quite early in the schedule. And the cards I was revealing were verse riff, chorus riff, and bridge riff. And I looked at these cards and I was like, all right, whoever picked those for me nailed it. But I'm sure as you know, I like to do these videos with my daughter because she loves acting, she loves being in them, and I love her, and obviously it's a lot of fun. But if I'm going to record it with her, it has to be on the weekend because she has school. So really what that gave me was 4 days to come up with an idea for this, to script it, to prepare to film it, to get it all on tape on the day, because it's not like we have time for reshoots or pickups or anything, And so somehow I came up with an idea of writing a riff for each of the cards and then trying to get them to flow together as a song and then trying to turn the card text into lyrics and things. And then next thing I know, I'm singing them. And let me tell you, I don't like singing. I've never been someone who's singing. I don't think I'm very good at it. I remember when we were starting a band in high school, we all tried singing and the whole band unanimously agreed, myself included, that singing was not for me, right? But somehow there's nothing like having 4 days to bring this all together, and next thing you know, you're in the car in the garage trying to record yourself singing and playing guitar, and it comes out like Glenn Danzig, and then you spend the next 5 days panicking trying to come up with alternative ideas that maybe you could post instead because you're terrified of singing in public. Anyway, the riffs. I recorded them on this nylon string acoustic guitar because that's the easiest thing to make audible for one of the videos that I do. I mean, I have a sweet Ibanez RG888 electric guitar that would have been pretty sweet, but a lot of work to try and get the sound of that onto one of the videos. And also, we're not doing a death metal card, so acoustic it is. I was trying to keep the riffs simple because, again, I didn't want this to be too difficult to pull off. And so the verse riff was meant to be kind of like that 80s thrash metal style, like Metallica's Ride the Lightning. That kind of thing. And because I didn't have a beat behind it, because I didn't want to overcomplicate it, unfortunately the sweet syncopation feel that I had didn't really come out. So instead of it sounding like this, it ended up sounding a bit like this. But hopefully most people didn't notice. The chorus riff, I wanted it to be very straightforward, that kind of cheesy, easy chord progression that you might find in like a My Chemical Romance song or a Nickelback song or a Slipknot song. And before you Slipknot fans go ganking me in the comments, I like Slipknot too, right? Anyway, the more I played with the chorus riff, the more I wanted to fancy it up a bit like this here. But after recording it like that, I recorded it again in a more straightforward way like this. And double tracked it over the top, and then ended up making the fancier version quieter because it kept detracting from the feel. And anyway, the bridge riff is more along the lines of what you get for, say, more modern metal or even perhaps like new metal. It's like... because I double tracked it ended up sounding a bit sloppier than I intended, but look, 4 days, all right, 4 days to bring it all together. So yeah, that's the riffs and how we came up with them in under 4 days. I'm really happy with what we achieved. My daughter is obviously the true champion in this. I loved her input as well, like the pink wig was her idea. I thought the opening line should be, let's hear it for the Warrior Riffs. She was adamant that it should be, give it up for the Warrior Riffs. Like, who am I to say no? Clearly she's got a great instinct for this stuff. I was especially happy with her delivery of alright.
I want to see a circle pit for the bridge riff!
I was quite specific with how I wanted that to come out. I told her that like it goes up and then comes down a bit like a bridge, and she got it and she killed it. When I was looking back at some of the footage, I just loved her mean metal face. She was awesome. Anyway, that was our reveal. I'm not always going to be able to talk at length about them the way I have with this one. This one was way more interesting for me, as I'm sure you can now tell. Sorry about that. So shout outs to the Blizzard ANZ crew for always believing in me. I appreciate it. And a huge thank you, of course, to my family for putting up with my endless nonsense. So until next time, you're all absolute legends, and I love you all. Oh, and I can definitely play Stairway to Heaven.